So Tom, what's the deal about the golf balls? I just figured one golf ball is as good as the next, but you always seem to have a special ball that you want to use. How come?
Well, you know, golf balls are like anything. They're all different. All golf balls have compression in it, and they also have different 2 layers, 3 layers. They do different things. Some balls have more spin. Some balls have less spin. Some balls are easy to compress, so you get more distance. If you have a slow swing speed, you don't swing very hard, you want a ball that's soft that you can compress it, because when the ball hits the club, it compresses and shoots out. If you had a real hard swing, you use a ball that's harder to compress. That makes the ball go a lot farther. Now, I like to use Titleist, and example here, I get 3 different brands here. I have Titleist, NXT Tour, which is, I like this. This is the ball I use. An NXT Tour is very soft. It's not really a distance ball, but when you use it, when you hit the greens, it has spin on it that will stop the ball near the pin.
Oh.
Some balls, a hard ball will hit the pin and just keep on rolling. So if you hit this properly from a proper iron, you get under it, you put spin on it, and when it hits, any wind spin's going to stop or kind of hold itself. I like that. It's a very soft ball. Here's a ball called the Titleist DT Solo. It's even softer than that, but
softer than the first one.
It's a softer feel, but you get a little longer distance on this. It's got a certain cover that makes the ball go a little further. This is not really a distance ball. This will make it go a little further. This might not have as much spin to stop it as the NXT Tour I use.
Okay.
Then you got this DT Velocity. It's a new ball by Titleist. And it says for fast ball speed and for explosive distances. I don't know if this ball is going to stop so much on the green because it's probably a harder ball, or it's made a certain way that's going to give you a lot more distance. So this is a ball that if you're not really a big hitter, you might want to use a velocity ball. If you're an average hitter like I am, but you're more concerned about stopping the ball on the green, you use the NXT Tour. But I guess the Rolls Royce of balls is the Pro V1, which is, these are probably $23, $30, maybe, well, NXT Tour is usually about $30 a dozen. The Velocity is probably $19 a dozen, and this Solo is probably around $17, $18 a dozen. So
okay.
if it's a price you need to worry about, you would go by that. But like I say, I'm an average hitter, but I like to stop the ball at the greens, I use the NXT Tour. Now, hitting the ball that far and you need distance, you use the Velocity. And you got the DT Solo, which again it's soft and it's long, a combination of both. But you got to try them out.
You don't like sell golf balls on the side for Titleist, do you?
No.
Hey, but you like Titleist.
I just like Titleist.
But there's lots of name brands, right?
TaylorMade. There's you know, TaylorMade.
There's Nike. I've seen Nike.
It's what you like to use.
Slazenger,
which is a very hard ball. And there's
okay.
a ball, if you guys live in a cold climate, called the Lady, L-A-D-Y. It's a very easy compressed ball. So if you want really distance, it's a ladies' ball.
Oh.
It goes a mile.
Wow.
But if you don't want to play with a pink ball or something, then, or a yellow ball, then go for it. But it depends on your game. But the Pro V1, like you say, those are the Rolls Royce of balls, and you're talking $45, $48 a dozen. So
okay.
You're the guy who puts the balls in the woods a lot. I wouldn't really go for that.
Hey, speaking of balls, there's one other thing I would want to mention that some people probably don't know, and I didn't know this before, well, quite a while ago, and then I just learned it. When you're at the driving range, you know, I would hit some balls at the driving range, and I think, man, how come I can't hit them any further than that? And then somebody said, oh, that's because the driving range balls are like, what is it, 20 to 25% less, however it's made, you can't hit it as far as a regular ball.
Well, they're beat up, number one. I mean, they're hit over and over and over. I mean, I use a new ball every time I play around. You know, anything that gets hit over and over loses compression.
Yeah, but don't driving balls, they already are made not to be able to hit as far.
Well, the thing about driving ranges is this. People like to drive range because 2 reasons. They can hit the ball. It's It's wide open. You just grip it and rip it. You just slam it. You can swing hard as you want and it goes anywhere. And you think that's great. But now you go on a golf course where that is this wide to this wide with a tree line.
Right.
Now what do you do?
Yeah.
It's not slugging the ball. And another thing is people do well at the driving range. They hit one ball after the other, after the other, after the other, and you're in a groove.
Yeah.
But when you go out and play a game of golf, you tee a ball up on the first hole. Next hole's a par 3. You won't use it till maybe 15 minutes later. You know, you're not as, you know, limber as you were when you first, you know, if you were like on the driving range and all that. So, you know, when you go to the driving range, bring these too. Bring these irons. You don't never practice your strength. Practice your weaknesses.
Okay.
That's what you got to practice. If you hit this 100, if you hit this really good, I was golfing one day. Tell you a quick story. I was golfing one day back in the state, and what happened? I was watching this guy next to me hitting one ball after the other over the net, which was 200 yards down. The net was like 50 feet high, so not only did he hit 200 yards, but hit it really high. I watched him one ball after the other, after the other. I was amazed. I said to the boy, I said, "Boy, you're a pretty good player. What's your handicap?" He says, "I can't break 100. I said, "Why?" He says, "I got a terrible short game." So always, I don't know if he had a tough day at work or he just wanted to get some frustration out, but he just practiced his strengths.
Right. So
And,
he
you know,
so he needs
practice
to he should be practicing his irons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more thing about these balls too, just to give an example. If I took all these 3 balls, one ball from each box, and I was to drop them on the ground on a hard surface, one might bounce that high, one might bounce that high, and one might bounce that high. And again, it's because of the compression in it. There are hard balls and there are softer balls. Matter of fact, this one more thing. This putter I got is a Titleist, and it has on my face. Can you see that gold?
Let me get it in there.
You see that gold? You
Yeah.
get that, Joe?
Yeah.
But it's a gold, and this is called beryllium. It's a soft metal, and this is a putter for some uses a hard ball. So if you use a hard ball with a hard piece of metal, it's too clicking, goes too far. What this does is softens the hard ball to make it more manageable. You get it?
Yeah.
But I actually use a soft ball, so not only does this soften it more, I like the feel of a soft putt. I don't like that clicky thing going really hard. I like a nice soft sound. This particular club, all clubs don't have this, but my club has this metal called beryllium, which is soft metal, which makes the feel softer.
And here I thought all balls were created equal.
No. And can I say one thing, last thing before you...
One more thing, okay.
Thing.
Man, you're full of information here, Tom.
I know, and I'm not even on the tour either. But one thing you don't want to really do is use a different ball. You use a Titleist, then you use a Slazenger, then you use a TaylorMade, because again, I might hit, if I hit a 7-iron very solid of my ball, NXT Tour, it might go 50 yards. If I use a Slazenger, which is harder, it might go 170 yards because it's a harder ball.
Right.
So you want something that you can have a constant feel over and over.
So for the whole course, the whole game, you want to use the same brand of ball and everything.
Right. And
I guess that makes sense.
And you feel like go in the woods and find used balls or balls are in the water.
Yeah.
But that ball can be in that water for a week, 2 weeks, and it could be cracks in that ball. It could be waterlogged. It's not going to go anywhere. So again, if it causes an issue, you want to have fun, do that. But you know, if you're a little serious about your game, you want to buy a brand ball, stick with it, and just have fun.
Okay. Hey, Tom, thank you.
Okay, John, glad to be of help.